A young man meets and falls in love with a young woman. They make a date. Then war breaks out, and it's the end of the world. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 82, Spotlight on Miracle Mile.
Superman.
Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode number 82. Thank you. I was. You could see in my voice or hear in my voice. I was struggling to remember what number this was. Yep, this is episode 82, the Spotlight on Miracle Mile. I am your host, Damien Hicks, and as ever, I am joined by
Brett Summers
and
Paul Hawkins.
Together we are making a podcast.
Cult Faction.
Cool. So how's our week been? What's been going down in Groovetown?
It's been cold.
Been very cold.
Christmas arrived.
Yeah. Decorations
Trees are up.
Trees are up. Presents listed with Santa.
Cool.
Credit cards have been cut in half. It's all fun and games.
But the toughest thing about it is Shell's been asking me the last few weeks, what do you want?
Oh, we've done the whole, nope, nothing, just the kids.
Yeah, unfortunately, weeks ago she gave me a list. So I've got hers. So it's been, what do you want? So I just asked for a drone.
There could be a Les Paul going second hand.
You'll play again,
It's yours for 800.
You might get a new finger for Christmas, yeah?
Yeah, that's true. No, so I just asked for a drone.
Fair enough. Tell her not to get one off Ideal World on the television.
Why?
Well, because I looked at when they were being advertised. Well, in fact, when we finish this, I go indoors and
Buy stuff.
Ideal World is on ITV, and they had a drone on there a couple of weeks back, and I thought, God, that looks really good. That.
Yeah.
So I got on there, then like Googled I copied and pasted the actual manufacturer, the whole thing into Google, just because I thought I'm not going to read reviews
It's
on
like one of
Ideal
those
World.
ones you get on Wish.
It's the independent reviews like on Trustpilot or whatnot. Shocking.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah. So if she's just don't.
She's not normally up at 2 a.m.
Yeah, so you'll probably be all right. Probably get.
It'll come back
one.
with a 30-day guarantee anyway, won't it?
It should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my Christmas ruined.
And now I might be being sued by Ideal World, but
Other
is what it is.
TV shopping
Yeah,
channels.
they can't talk. They nick their thing from a song anyway. In an ideal world.
So Summers, what's been going down in Groovetown for you then? Anything exciting? Your credit card's been ripped up. You're Scrooged in it up.
Oh, yes, humbug. Seeing as today's Friday the 16th, it is officially schools out for Christmas. Not summers, that's summer.
Obviously.
So all of a sudden, the world's a little bit brighter. So hopefully now I'll get my Christmas spirit back and drink it, and then see what Santa brings me.
Cool.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 indeed.
There won't be any of those.
Okay. Well, just for the record, I'm discharged from hospital care. I'm now allowed to dress my own bandage and
Did you have to do a course or anything?
No, just had to regular checkups. My finger is not infected. It's not got gangrene or anything like that, and I can
You
now
sound
be trusted.
disappointed.
Yeah, well, it was nice taking an hour out of my day every couple of days to go and get it looked at.
Has Tony Iommi got in contact yet?
Hey,
Has Tony Iommi got in contact yet?
no, don't because it just genuinely scare me that I won't be able to.
You'll play again. You will play again.
Let's hope so.
If the guy from Def Leppard can play the drums.
Yeah, but they could play before. They were good. I'm just average.
You wrote our theme tune.
Well, yeah, but that was just a blinding stroke of luck, I think.
That's why you keep going on about it, that you'll never be able to play it again because of your finger, but you just can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah, I have to sit there and actually figure out what I did. Anyway, okay, well that was fun. So we'll let's get this bit that I hate doing over and done with because it bores me senseless. So, has anyone watched anything this last week that they want to talk about?
I have finished now that they're all on Sky or Paramount or whatever
Wherever
it is.
Yeah,
it's Chucky season 2.
Okay.
Very, very good. An improvement on season 1, I feel, and unashamedly over the top and just full on Chucky. Really, I recommend it on the fact that. Well, I don't know how far are you guys along with the Chucky
I've not started
lore?
it just because it wasn't available over here for so long.
No, I mean with the Chucky lore. Have you seen Curse of Chucky?
Yeah, long. Well,
years and years
Yeah,
ago.
because it's not that old.
it is.
Well,
It's about 5 years ago.
all right, that's not years.
Well, it
years. Years and years is like 2001.
Okay, fair enough. But
so-
either way,
Yeah, because like in Curse of Chucky,
we haven't
like,
got that photographic autistic memory that you've got.
It's artistic.
All right, yeah.
But going back to just insult me live on air.
It's not an insult.
At
And
Christmas.
it's not live either.
Shh, it is because I finished school today.
Yeah,
And,
but we're not going out live. We're not live streaming.
Not live.
yeah, but they don't know that.
Anyway, move on.
Anyway,
Before
behind
we
the
get cut out.
curtain, it's August. We know that, but they don't. No.
yeah,
but
we're
in,
basking in bright
I'd
sunshine
love
and
to
the
think,
heat wave.
I'd love to think we were that well
organised,
planned
yeah.
and organised.
that would be nice. But yeah, but the whole thing with Curse
Yeah,
of
just
Chucky
another
was,
pina colada for me on the,
Yeah.
on the picture.
Shh. Oh, Barbados, you're so warm. Yeah, Curse of Chucky, they did the thing where he spread his soul into all Chucky dolls now.
Yep.
So, like, they haven't got to keep explaining it, which I thought was a good idea because how many times can you get burnt, set on fire, or melted, you know? But there's a bit where there's like this feral, well, all the way through, there's some of these Chucky dolls keep talking about the Colonel. I mean, this is spoilers, actually. Spoiler bell. Ding, ding, ding.
Hang on, I've got a different.
That's half a finger. You can't use that.
I've got no idea what happened. I couldn't find it last week. I can't find it now. So it's this instead.
Yeah, so there are
It's a bit
spoilers.
camp, but it does the job.
But so basically, all these old chaps, they keep talking about they've got to do it for the Colonel. So you're like, who is the Colonel? And then later on, there's like
Does
this...
it involve fried chicken?
No, even better. They
Why
find
you say
this.
that? We could really do with the kernels.
They find this like they're looking through the woods and they find like all these trees with like bits of dead Chucky doll hung out on them and all that. And there's like this cabin, and then they're looking through the window and there's cabin and there's like a fire in it, and there's like a bold fat Chucky doll doing full on Brando Apocalypse Now shit in the woods. He's going, yeah, we got to eat. I can't do the voice, but
No.
he's doing. But it's basically Brad Dourif doing Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, and like I love the smell of plastic in the morning and all that, and it's. Just wasn't expected to, it's just brilliant, but it is still, it's very sinister, but they're not afraid to have a laugh or poke a little bit of fun at themselves as well and
Well, I think if you're doing
Killer Doll
Killer
for 30
Dolls
years.
from
And,
30 years
that's
ago,
why
then-
that's why it's worked, because it's always been Don Mancini and it's always, they've never backtracked on whatever corner they've put themselves in.
yeah,
Because even,
unlike Halloween
yeah,
and Kruger and everything else. Well,
no,
Kruger not so
Kruger
much.
kind of,
actually,
that
but
just, that was just
just
bad
went a
writing.
bit. Yeah.
But even like Jennifer Tilly has been possessed by Tiffany the doll, and Tiffany the doll. So Jennifer Tilly walking around as Tiffany the doll, and the Tiffany the doll is Jennifer Tilly now.
I
But
see what you
she's
mean,
pretending, so she's done that. And she's going, I loved it when I was in this film. She's like, you weren't in that fucking film. That was me, you fucking slut. No, just sort of, and it's just, it's over the top, but it's funny. It's, I guess, camp in its own way, but still, when the killing comes around, it's still a bit, Chucky-like. He's never backwards, it going forwards. But yeah, worth a watch. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it is a horror kind of still as well.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
That
Okay,
was all I've really had time
Mr.
to watch.
Hawkins.
So Christmas is coming, so did the obligatory elf. But he also had some time on my own.
That's what you do at Christmas.
So I watched It's a Wonderful Life.
bends it over a shelf.
Oh, you're on about the other one. No.
You did the obligatory Elf. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, watched It's a Wonderful Life. I haven't watched that in years. Still really enjoy that. But yeah, we all know about those films.
Yep.
I'm going to do my I watched it so no one else has to. On Sky at the moment, there's a film called Poker Face, which is directed and starring Russell Crowe, where he plays like a tech billionaire that has a poker game with some of his old friends. Kind of goes wrong. There's kind of a burglary that goes wrong. There's some plot twist that I won't go on about. Although I could, because don't watch it. It's not great. It's not good. It's not great at all. It's not even good.
Cool.
It's a 4.5 out of 10.
That bad.
Don't go there. And the other thing that I've started to watch is Alice in Borderlands on Netflix.
Oh yeah. I've seen the title card and stuff for that.
Yeah. So I noticed that there's going to be a second season in December drop. So I thought, okay, I might as well start watching the first one. It's all right. Nothing radically different to stuff that you haven't seen before. It's kind of a mashup between kind of a Hunger Games, Squid Games type thing so far, where people, where three friends are having a prank. They're in a toilet in wherever it is, and they come out of the toilet and everyone's disappeared, and then they have to play a game to survive.
Cool.
It's all right.
It's all right. Okay.
Two episodes in. I'll carry on watching it. That's it.
That's it. Okay, I've got a couple of things. I've been delving into the world of Apple TV again this week. So started to watch Lissy's story or Lissey's story. Lissy. It's Lisey. It's Lissy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stars Julianne Moore. It's a Stephen King. I want to say adaptation, but I think it's actually wrote it because it said the screenplay by Stephen King. So I'm not sure if it's an adaptation of a book or it's just written directly for TV. Either way, it's shit.
No, don't hold back. Tell us.
Literally, I think we did 3 episodes, and it is so slow. And I mean, no, Stephen King.
For Stephen King?
Yeah, this is it. You know, you read a Stephen King book, and he'll spend like 2 chapters describing a doorknob, so you kind of know what you're getting when you actually open a Stephen King book. But yeah, say 3 episodes in, someone's dead. I'm assuming, well, her husband's dead. Julianne Moore's husband's dead.
Spoiler.
Well, you get that
Not
in
really.
the first, like, literally 30 seconds. But you don't know why? I mean, why are they showing this on the screen? Because so far there is no plot. Nothing's going on. Her husband's dead. He was a writer. Someone wants.
Oh, and he was a bloody writer as well.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Someone wants his unpublished manuscripts, but nothing in all of those 3 things that I've just mentioned. Nothing's actually happening. It is just literally that. So we've given up on that. I can't be bothered to go back to that.
Cool.
Might do one day, but I'm not holding my breath. And the other thing on Apple TV is Severance. So this, I haven't written down who stars in it. I don't recognise them. Oh, actually, what's her name from True Romance, and then later Medium. Yeah.
Patricia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched 2 of these.
It is, yeah.
So I'm going a bit further. So it's directed by Ben Stiller. So yeah, Patricia Arquette. I don't know the main lead. I don't know his name. I don't recognise him from anything. I should have written it down, but I forgot. I've only just remembered I started watching it, to be fair. It is really slow, but it's intriguing. So the premise is you've got this guy goes into work, and the moment he goes down the lift to the floor that he works on, his memory of his outside life is wiped. So he only knows what he's doing at work, and then obviously comes back up out of the elevator, and what he's done in the office is wiped.
Adam Scott?
Could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Dark hair and a beard.
Yeah, he hasn't got a beard in this, but either way. But then there's like, it's all about, are they doing something sinister in this company that they're working for? And one of the guys that used to work with him has, in inverted commas, escaped and is has met up with him to try and convince him that it's not good what they're doing. But 3 episodes in, so no idea what they're doing. Again, it is slow, but there's enough of an intriguing premise rather.
Cher wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, to be honest, Sarah's getting a little bit kind of bored, but she's ill at the moment,
Well,
so it's quite
I'll
handy.
let you carry on watching it.
Yeah.
If it is good, then I'll go back.
Yeah, it seems good, and you got this duplicity with Patricia Arquette because she also works in the same company and lives next door to him, and she seems really nice in the
Real world,
but you don't know actually whether she's been severanced or not because there's no. She could be keeping an eye on him rather than just happens to live next door.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty cool. It's just again it is slow. It takes a while for you to get into. But that's it. Those 2 things. Don't bother with Lissy's story. It's awful. It's shite. Severance. Jury's out, but still better than Lissy's story.
It's got promise.
It has promise.
Okay.
Be sure to report back, Damien.
I will do. No doubt we'll have finished it by next week. We did Warrior Nun last week, didn't we? I talked about that. So that's me done.
Cool.
Anyone else have anything?
Not that I can think of.
I'm
Cool. A Hollywood legend for 10 years, Miracle Mile was chosen by American Film Magazine as one of the best unmade screenplays of 1983. Written for Warner Brothers, by Steve D. Jarnatt, it was left in production limbo until Steve himself brought the script back and reworked it. When he shopped it around to other studios, they balked at the mix of romance and nuclear war and the film's rather downbeat ending. Production eventually started in 88 and the film was released in 89 to little fanfare and has since been forgotten.
Until now.
Until a random TikTok video popped up on my feed and I thought, oh, yeah, let's give that a go. And we did. Well, I assume you did. Otherwise, we're wasting our time and we'll have to come back next week.
What day is it?
So, stars. Start that again. So, stars Anthony Edwards as Harry Washello. Mayor I couldn't say this last week. Mayor Winningham as Julie Peters. Kurt Fuller as Gersted. And Denise Crosby as Lander. There's a few other names in there that I haven't written down.
You deliberately left out McKelty Williamson.
Yeah.
Well, I was rushed making this, and it's really hard to type with a.
Oh God, not the finger again.
Well, just get that in there.
Nearly everyone in this film is a star now.
This is true. Well, we can go through that
star.
as
That's what impressed me. I was just like.
So, we can't really do the memories of this one, can we? So,
no memories.
as we
none
said last week.
Not even a whiff of it.
No, I'd never heard of it. Was not even on my radar. Some films I haven't seen, but I still knew them. Like Repo Man that we did like way back in the summer.
Oh yeah.
I'd heard of it, but
even some of them I remember seeing the poster or the video case and not being able to watch it or something.
But this one seems to just literally have just disappeared. So thank you, whoever put it on TikTok, for giving us something to watch. I'll leave the jury out on whether it's a thank you for watching it or not later.
This might be slightly jumping the gun, but nothing to do with the film. The one weird thing I found out when just looking for it is that Anthony Edwards and Mayor Winningham actually got married last year.
Really?
Yeah, they're married now. Like 30 odd years late,
Yeah.
late 2021 they were married.
Oh, I probably should say, so I said in my opening thing just there that it was released in 89. Some places say it was released in 88. So just
it's around then.
It was around that time. Don't bother emailing us and telling us that we got the times wrong.
No, do email us.
Actually, do you? If you fancy it, do.
Anyway,
it's nice to get an email.
It was released in 1993.
Yeah.
But a lot of those are like, if it was shown at one film festival in front of 10 people, that counts.
And
as
plus,
a
this
release
is back in the day when things were released in the States, but then they didn't come over here or other regions until 6 months, sometimes even a year later. So
20 years later in this case.
Yeah.
Never even heard of it.
So who knows? But either way, it was late 80s. So should we just get straight onto the plot?
Cool.
Yes, let us do that.
Right, so the film opens with the two main characters, Harry, Anthony Edwards, and Julie, Mayor Winningham, meeting at the La Brea tar pits and immediately falling in love.
Oh,
Well, not immediately. It just took them 30 years by sound of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, after spending the afternoon together, they arranged to meet after a shift ends at midnight at the diner she works in. While at his hotel, Harry flicks a cigarette from his balcony, which is then picked up by a crow, darn you, and taken back to its nest, which promptly ignites, causing a power failure at the hotel, resulting in Harry's alarm failing to go off and wake him in time. After waiting at work for over an hour, it was quite a long time actually, it was a few hours by looking at that clock, Judy leaves for home.
Yeah, when I was writing this, I couldn't be bothered to go back and look at how long she was.
Yeah.
Over an hour. It was definitely over an hour.
I like the start of this film. I really did. And not that I'm a Nick Cage fan, but he is a friend of Cult Faction. I couldn't help, as the film goes on, think if Nick Cage was actually Anthony Edwards, this film could be a whole lot better. But anyway, I really did like the build-up. It was almost like one of those sliding doors type. Is the film going to go off in this tangent or this direction? Little did I know.
Well, it's funny you should say that. So, according to Wikipedia, both Nicolas
Written
Cage,
by Peter Howard.
both Nicolas Cage and Kurt Russell were attached to play
Get in.
before the other dude.
I can see Kurt Russell
Anthony
from
Edwards.
an action bit. If
did I see somewhere like Jack Nance? They tried to get Jack Nance at some point as well.
I don't know. I've not seen that, but yeah, I've had a look at the Wikipedia. Well, I've got it in front of me now, and it says Kurt Russell and Nicolas Cage were attached at one stage. So, as I said, this was in sort of development hell for 10 odd years because no one really wanted to touch it. So, you kind of potentially take that statement with a pinch of salt because if it's something that's been knocking around for 10 years, everyone gets attached at some point, don't they? But yeah, I think not that there's anything wrong with Anthony Edwards in this, but
no.
A Nicolas Cage performance would have made this a completely different film.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, this isn't for the Cage.
I'm not saying it would have been better or worse.
I'm
just
about his early stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mental.
This is
then.
leaving Las Vegas, Arizona time, isn't it? Yeah.
It was still mental then.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no,
exactly.
No, Jack Nance was approached for the role of Fred the Cook, but turned it down.
Well, yeah, he's not really. He's not in it a lot, is he? To be fair, those guys, none of those guys are in it for much.
They should have stuck with him though. I'll explain why in a minute. But it was a clever opening, very Twilight Zone, I thought.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that kind of vibe, or Outer Limits, or whichever night gallery type, because something's coming. The Crow was just kind of a weird way of doing it, I thought, which I really liked.
Yeah, well, it's got that.
Because you're
that opening is all very. You've got almost film noir going on. You've got, like you say, the Twilight Zone, that neo. I can't remember. There's a film around around that sort of time, which actually a lot of films around like the late 80s were doing that kind of, not quite comic book, but hazy kind of whimsical stuff. And it's got about 3 different genres all going on at the same time within
Tangerine
first...
Dream pumping over the top.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of Please tell me they made some money.
They must have done. It must have made something out of Street Hawk, to be fair.
Wasn't that? I thought, no, that wasn't. That was the Equalizer, wasn't it? Mate You Out the Police.
I don't know. Street Hawk was definitely Tangerine Dream.
Copeland was the Equalizer, and some other one that was really that you wouldn't think. I've forgotten now, like a real proper cheesy, shitty kind of one that but you would have never thought it was him.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten now. I'll have a look later. But yeah, no, it was a great opening. The Crow bit was just weird because it's like, I was trying to is it a metaphor?
Well, that's what I thought. Is it going to take some ethereal turn and all that kind of stuff?
Well, no, it's just that, without spoiling what happens later on, is he, destroying his own nest or whatever in his search for
love.
Love and cigarettes. But yes, anyway. So Harry awakens at night and he realizes what has happened. So he rushes to the diner and he gets there at 4 a.m., which is a little bit later, obviously, than he intended. Harry tries to call Julie on a payphone, because that's what they had in those days, kids, but only reaches her answering machine, where he leaves an apology. When the phone rings moments later, he picks it up and hearing a frantic man named Chip telling his father that a war is about to break out in less than 70 minutes. When Harry finally gets a chance to talk and asks who's calling, Chip realises he has dialed the wrong area code. Chip then pleads with Harry to call his father and apologises for some past wrong before he's confronted and presumably shot or machine gunned down.
Yeah.
It sounded like a lot of it said that he was shot. No, he was gunned. No, you can hear gunfire. An unfamiliar voice then picks up the phone and tells Harry to forget everything he heard and go back to sleep before disconnecting. Doesn't sound good, does it? Because we get some real proper, like, I've forgotten the words he uses now. We're going to, like, drop the mother load or something.
Something
no,
like that,
something like that.
Payload.
What was it? Payload?
No, it's gonna it's gonna drop its wad or something.
Yeah, that's
Gonna,
it. That's it.
Gonna shoot his wad.
Yeah,
Or
we're about to shoot our wad, and
Wad
then
or
we're going to
something,
get
yeah.
theirs back in 70 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, and all that. So it's like, but again, cleverly done, slightly eerily done, and very well underplayed. Because, it's just a phone box. Then, especially in 1989, it was phone boxes. People use phone boxes. Nowadays kids wonder what these machines are when they watch it. But it was a normal scene. I'll phone her, but it had a real eerie undertone and that kind of paranoia that reminded me a bit of like The Fugitive, The Invaders. The one man knows the truth, but no one else believes him, kind of thing. And I really like that bit.
I have to admit, at this bit, it's like, would you take it seriously? I guess.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? And what
Yeah.
happens next? No, you're right though. 'Cause it'll be a bloody good prank.
Okay. So Harry, confused and not entirely convinced of the reality of the information, wanders back into the diner and tells the other customers what he's just heard. As the patrons scoff at his ridiculous story, one of them, a mysterious businesswoman named Lander, played by Denise Crosby, calls a number of politicians in Washington on her mobile phone, which was a big thing. Well, actually, so was the phone, to be fair. It was absolutely huge in the same
both
briefcase.
status and physicality, yeah.
So she makes this phone call and finds out that they're all suddenly heading for the extreme southern hemisphere. After Harry tells her some launch codes that Chip had told him, she verifies that they are real and convinced of the danger, immediately charters private jets out of LA International Airport to a compound in a region of Antarctica where there is no rainfall. Yeah. So we don't really know what this. I mean, she almost says what she does. No, doesn't she say her ex-boyfriend or something worked for the Pentagon or whatever?
Yeah,
so
but
she's
even
got
that,
contacts.
there was some weird undertone to her.
Yeah, because it looked like she was doing something beforehand, didn't it?
Because they were all like, she's something to do with stocks and shares. And you see her with the Wall Street Journal, but then underneath she's got like a kind of, like a York Notes Shakespeare or something like that, where she's sort of reading, she's not even reading the proper one. She's reading the cheap one that's never explained.
No, it's almost like because you expect her to be. Is it just that she's trying to look like a high flying businesswoman, but all she's doing really is just
she's not at all, because that's almost what it. Yeah,
but you don't get any of that.
This really reminded me of the similar, like the Sandman, with the diner of all the different people from all walks of life. Obviously, totally different end. Well, similar end. Well, it turns out well for them. But those different people. And what an array of people in this diner.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in that diner. This is that diner in the painting. The famous painting on the corner
Nighthawks.
of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, you
How
had
do I know that?
the chef is the police chief from RoboCop.
Yes.
And RoboCop 2, RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
You've got Denise Crosby, Natasha Yar from Star Trek, and all that.
I wouldn't have known that one.
I'm going round now.
No, that's fine. Do it.
The two guys arguing, the bigger bloke has been in all sorts
Loads of things
through the
yeah.
years. But the other guy was Turkey in The Wanderers. Remember the one that shaves his head bald because he tries to get in with the Baldies?
Yeah.
That's him.
Okay.
The air stewardess lady has
I
been
did
in loads of
recognise
stuff
her.
as well. And that chef woman, the waitressy woman, the ginger one, has done like, I forgot her name now, but she's been in everything. But she's also like a acting teacher and all that, and sort of as everyone's like, she's like the best, she's a Jedi and all that. And it was just like, well, you could like, I mean, back then none of them had done anything that they could, you know. And even, I'm sure I've missed someone. Oh no, we haven't met him yet.
No.
But yeah, it was like, I was just like, well, this is cool. This is like everyone here. Just stay with these guys. These are all badass people.
And it's just fortuitous that she can charter a private jet out of
Multiple
Los
private jets by the sound of it.
Well, of course she can. She's got a mobile phone. If she's got one of them, you could do that.
Yeah,
in those days.
in those days, in 1988, 89,
If you had a
if you had a
phone like
mobile
that-
phone like that, you were somebody.
Yeah.
So, this guy, who you've already seen once, you're sat in the diner,
Oh, right, okay.
you've already seen him once, and then he goes out, makes a phone call, comes back in, his nose bleeds, and he starts ranting on about nuclear war and other nonsense. Do you believe him?
See, and I think that's the thing, because he doesn't know whether to believe it or not, and then he starts mentioning some of the
launch
and
codes.
stuff. And then, you know, she buys into it and she confirms it. And automatically the cook's
He got it. He was there straight away.
He's getting
He's
a shotgun,
yeah.
packing off the food. I'm leaving Dodge. So
Yeah.
yeah. It was starting to.
I believe he got a flight to Detroit.
feel a little bit more holes in some of the plot line for me at this point. But I was going with it. But yeah, he's obviously convinced. She's then convinced some of the other diners. So most of the customers and staff leave with her in the owner's delivery van with a truckload of food. They're taking food with them.
Yeah, mayonnaise. They're whacking great big tub of mayonnaise.
And a couple
get
of
the
people
important things.
and a couple of people that just appeared in the van.
Yeah.
It's like, where did
Well,
that
I mean,
thing
to be
come
fair,
in?
he does that does get because he's the Harry was he says something and it's like, who are you? Actually, who are you? Why are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
But they were
it's
never
like he was just,
there.
he was,
even
they
to
weren't in the
start
diner, but I
with.
think there's one of the guys was just sat on the street curb, sees everyone gets in the van,
Yeah.
he just follows.
Okay.
Well, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
He thinks they're off to a party.
Yeah, something's going on. I'm
Yeah.
getting in on this.
He probably expects them to put out a DVD of Shaolin Soccer or something. Come on, the night's still young. That's for the listeners of last week's episode. And also at this point as well, we've got Denise Crosby saying, okay, what famous people and what important politicians or thinkers should we take with us? You write down their names and I'll call them. It's like, what? What?
Yeah.
Where's this going? You know, and so some of the names that come up are brilliant. It's the guy that wrote, was it Sagers, isn't it? The guy that wrote Contacts.
Yeah.
We've got to take him. It's like, what? Okay, I'll give him a bell. It's like, seriously?
I forgot about that list actually.
Yeah.
It was about. I thought I'll go back and see who they wrote down, but I forgot though.
Yeah, so yeah, fine. We'll get them on the plane to LAX or wherever, and save them because they need to be saved for the nuclear holocaust that's approaching. Anyway, so they're getting on to the truck. Where am I? Okay, yeah. So the owner says he's not going to make any stops. He's going straight to the airport. So Harry doesn't want to leave without Julie. So he ranges to meet the group at the airport and jumps off the truck, literally. Harry hails down a car being driven by a guy called Wilson, who appears to have been out robbing car stereos for the night. Realizing they don't have enough petrol to make the journey to get Julie and then back to the airport, they have to pull over, but the only place they can get gas only gives gas to taxis. And they force the owner to allow them to fill up the tank. But while that's going on, the police arrive. Wilson sprays petrol all over the officers, and in a panic, one of the officers discharges a firearm and ignites all the fuel, and basically the whole gas station goes up in flames. Harry and Wilson escape in a police car and head for Julie's place. Yeah.
That was a mental scene. Again, obviously, Wilson, we all spotted, didn't we?
Yeah.
Bubba.
Yeah.
Who was our bestest friend. But did anyone spot the gas station boss with a shotgun?
No.
I've forgotten the guy's name, but it's Mr. Blue from Where's Our Dogs.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay.
But he was the guy who was the real criminal that had written all the books, and that's why he was in. Because Tarantino was like, "You're like the real fucking deal, man," and he got him in it, and he was just like, "You lot are just acting this," and all that. And he's been in prison and all that, but he'd come out from prison and then started doing acting. Obviously, this is one of his
Earlier
first
roles.
bits, but it felt like he pulled on his past experiences. I'm gonna get 10 years of this.
Yeah.
I must admit, at this point, I kind of put myself in Harry's shoes, thinking, okay, this girl I've just met, I'm on a truck going to the airport for safety. I've only got probably about 65 minutes now to get her. I don't really know where she lives. Then I have to get back to the airport.
Yeah. This is Hollywood, man. This is Hollywood.
Because we're saying he's only met her
That day. Yeah.
hasn't he?
Yeah.
Then he fell asleep, and yeah.
But that's love at first sight, I guess.
Yeah, I just think he thought it was Leah Thompson from a distance. Because but that's another story. Right, yeah, but it was cool. I quite like that. But again, the paranoia is kicking in now. That's what I like. It was turning up the paranoia bit.
Well, the other thing is as well, and this carries on throughout the film, he keeps telling people different things because he doesn't want to say it's a nuclear war.
Yeah, it kind of almost like doesn't want to be the one
but because
spreading
he does
panic.
that, as it goes through the film, it actually doesn't help him any.
Well,
No.
it all comes back and bites him on the ass, doesn't it? It's like, and then okay, so we've blown up, we've set cops on fire, we've blown them up, the petrol station's gone, and then so at Julie's, Harry leaves Wilson in the police car and heads to collect her. Obviously, at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, no one's answering the door. So, in a way that won't raise panic, he bursts through the door with his shoulder, smashed it to pieces into her apartment, as informed by her grandmother that she took a sleeping pill and is out for the count. Harry explains the situation and drops Julie into a shopping basket, cart type thing, and they leave, picking up her grandfather along the way. Meanwhile, Wilson opts to leave them and to get his sister taking the police car with him. And then Julie's grandparents head for the car while Harry goes on foot with Julie in a trolley. Bizarrely, they all arrive at their destination at the same time and Julie is now awake. However, Harry has not told her what is happening. Julie's grandparents decide to stay and enjoy their time that they have left together. Because it's kind of hint that they've hated each other for years.
Yeah, it's
haven't
like
they?
15 years they haven't spoken to each other. They live in two different buildings.
And now, like, because all
Harry's
this going on,
reunited them.
they've reunited and realised all the time they've wasted.
Which Julie is ecstatic about.
Yeah.
And wants to go and have pancakes with them.
Yeah.
Harry and Julie reach the top of the building, but Landa isn't there. Only a co-worker, Gersted, played awesomely by Kurt Fuller, who seems to be organising everything, but he has no pilot. So Harry heads off to find the pilot. So again, we got a whole bunch of people here introduced. Obviously, Kurt Fuller from No Holds Barred, Wayne's World.
You name it.
Yeah, he's been in it. But this is him at his most mental. I like that. And because he's like, I don't know if they just gave him a bottle of whiskey and just left him running around ranting, but he looked that kind of,
frantic.
good character acting.
Yeah.
What the woman that come up to get on the plane?
So I haven't got this written down, but there's two women that randomly get out of a car. They've got a load of bags with them.
One of them is the one from Aliens.
I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention.
You know, the woman in Aliens with the headband. One of them's her.
All right, yeah.
And then she was in Terminator 2.
Yeah,
she's the
I know you
stepmom.
mean
Yeah,
it's
I
the
forgot her
stepmother.
name. She makes bras for big boob people now.
Does she?
Yeah, I don't know why I know that. That was.
I wonder why you know that, Brett.
That
I
was
wonder.
out even Google. No, 'cause it was like one of those. You know, like, what did celebrities do after they left Hollywood? And yeah. So that was, there's a few people there, and but again, the panic's kicking in, the paranoia's turning up. Every one of them had a different story to what was going on as well, and they're freaking out. The grandparents The grandfather was what was his name? I did have it notes. That was my notes.
It's not important.
John Agar, who's been in loads and millions of things through the years, and was Mr. Shirley Temple.
Well, I mean, to be fair, at that age, I'm not surprised he's been in lots of things. You know.
No, but he'd done a lot of the old. I don't think it was the Cat People, but like films like that when they came around, like those sort of early horrors that weren't Hammer and those sorts of ones, and then later on, every sort of 80s TV, he probably got arrested by T.J. Hooker, saved by the A-Team, and Michael Knight
called the
probably
Equalizer
gave him a
for
hand.
help.
Yeah, like he's one of those sorts of guys as he got older. But yeah, so again, a lot of people in here who've got a lot of mileage and a lot of credentials, and to pull them in, I don't know what the director's background was, but some of these are actually people at the time.
Yeah,
Some
it doesn't
of these
seem to be. Having literally a cursory glance, I haven't researched this anywhere near as much as I would do normally. It doesn't seem to have done much before. So I get you to have these people in this film, and I know, we all recognise these people now, but even so, just because you weren't necessarily famous back then doesn't necessarily mean you would have taken any job that's coming.
Yeah,
so,
no, but he would have been because he would have been off 50s, 60s. So, but then
what did he? You could argue, what did he do between sort of 1975 to 1989? It's like, your star wanes. But no, I get your point. I'm not arguing your point.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's cool.
So this is at this point the film it gets a little bit ropey where they keep leaving each other. That annoys me.
Yeah, it kind of overplayed it, and it was just
it wouldn't be so bad if they'd just stay in one fucking place.
Yeah,
would it?
Or went together.
Yeah.
So it's like so as we're about to come on to, so there's no pilot, so Harry heads off to go and get a pilot, leaving Julie there and saying, "Go without me if a pilot turns up." And then he ends up in a gym and finds this roided up dude that says he can pilot, and he convinces him to take the gig.
Brian Thompson,
yeah,
the alien bounty hunter
Yep.
from the X-Files and many other things.
So he convinces him he has to go and get Leslie, his friend.
You got an issue with that?
Julie is also buggered off to try and find a pilot on her own. Harry spots her and tells the pilot to head to the building that they're at, and he just catches up with Julie when Wilson speeds by in the stolen police car and crashes it through a shop window. His sister is dead, looks like she's been shot by the police, and he is soon heading in the same direction. The police surround the building, and just when they decide they're going to hand themselves in and say they were just innocent bystanders, the police all just bugger off. So they've obviously got the call that something's going on, so they leave. Harry and Julie head back to the diner, and Harry thinks that he sees the pilot whilst they're on their way. So again, sends Julie off back to the building, or wherever he sends her off to, back to the helipad to try and catch up with the pilot again. As this is all happening, Los Angeles descends into a violent chaos. However, there's still no confirmation of whether any of this is real, and Harry wonders
or
if
whether
he's
just created it.
Yeah, exactly. Whether he's just sparked a massive false panic in the kind of example of Chicken Little, which I think he mentions at some point. Well, otherwise, I wouldn't have written it down because I don't know that well. However, when he uses the phone booth to contact the father of the man who he called, or rather who Chip was trying to contact earlier, because he's worked out the phone number by looking at the phone number booth and the area code he was trying to get, he reaches a man who says his son is a soldier and confirms that he works in
silo, and he says he's in the silo.
A missile silo in it's not, is it Nevada? I've forgotten already.
Well,
anyway,
it was, but basically confirming that.
Basically confirms that his son is a soldier and he works in a missile silo. Harry tries to pass on the message that Chip gave him, but the man hangs up before Harry can finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got this. This is the bit where it just gets a bit. It does get annoying where they keep splitting up.
And it's a bit. Is this? So, all hell has broken loose at this point.
Yeah.
And Harry is trying to escape for his life under cars because he jumped on someone's car.
Yeah, I mean that's just the bit where surely this guy's got better things to be worried about.
But
than...
he goes all Terminator on him and starts hunting him down like sewers and stuff. It felt a bit weird. And also some of the special effects, I was there going, actually, they spent a bit of money on this. It's quite surprising. Not only have they paid for extras, but there's explosions and like cars.
Yeah,
being...
because that bit made up for the petrol station earlier.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
Fair point. Yeah.
See what the budget was saved for. But again, I like the way Anthony Edwards is playing it, and the fact of, is this still real? Have I completely balls this up? Have I got this wrong? Have I caused this?
Yeah,
He's got that
really
uneasiness
clever
about him, but he's also the paranoia it's creating and the vibe of that building.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, what I thought was clever about the entirety of it really is that there is no mobile phones then. There is no social media. There's none of that.
One mobile phone.
Yeah. But, so that one phone call has pretty much it's that old, you tell one person, they'll tell two people, those people will tell two people, and literally before you know it, there's 100 people. Then those 100 people tell another, and it's. So I thought that was actually really clever.
If only our podcast worked the same way.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, people. Okay, so Harry and Julie meet up once again in the lift of the mutual benefit building.
This is where I was starting to hope that she got shot or something at this point.
And when they reach the top, they find the pad empty, with only Lander's drunk co-worker on the roof. Any doubts about a false alarm are eliminated when a missile can be seen streaking across the sky. As they fear the end, the helicopter suddenly returns with the pilot badly wounded, but fulfilling his promise to come back for them. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Brian Thompson. But he didn't need to wear that, did he? I know they're at the gym.
The only thing is, there's the bit in the lift where they think that's
the
film could have just ended there.
Yeah.
Actually,
Do they get jiggy? Or
Not really.
They're about to.
Yeah. I think they're about to when the lift opens. They get another false hope, isn't it? It's another because you don't know. You're watching it. You don't know where it's going. You're supposedly rooting for these two. You want these two to.
I was ready for her to die at this point.
Well, she doesn't do anything. This is the thing. This wouldn't. I forget the name of that. There's a test, isn't there, about female characters in films and whether they they're just the whimsical. What's the word? Muse for the protagonist.
She's just a shit plot device.
Yeah, there isn't really.
It's
she doesn't do anything in this film. It's a letdown.
The reason he stays, and then he tries to get rid. Tries to save her, which has nothing to it.
Exactly. I mean, to be no disrespect to the actors, but it could be anything. It could have been his father's gold watch that he wants to go back and get. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything.
And it doesn't help that she was passed out with the sleeping tablet, and she's coming round, and so she doesn't really know about anything anyway.
Yeah.
And he's just telling her to follow her.
Yeah.
And she's got no idea why.
Yeah. She just thinks she's going on some hot air balloon ride or something.
Yeah. Follow the guy you met this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who stood you up 2.5, 3 hours ago.
Yeah. I just feel Leah Thompson would have done it better. But it was just, I don't know. At this point, I was like, shoot her. Or something.
Okay, that's cheery.
No, she was just doing my head in. And how she made it down that block to look for a bloody pilot anyway, when she was still at the top when he was at the bottom, and he had to use the stairs to get up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on.
All right, okay.
Oh, and the other bit is that none of us recognised the man that he thought was the pilot, and we never will. I'll leave that one there.
Okay.
So I'll just say, remember because you're the pilot.
I know you mean, just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, we will never know who that is, and none of us recognised him. So that was a good thing. I'll just leave that there for anyone who wants to do their own research. Right, anyway, I'll tell you a lot in a minute.
Okay.
Right, so, so they're back on the roof. It's a bit of chaos. The pilots come back for him, and to prove that he is injured, he's got that bit of blood that comes out of his mouth and runs down his chest, which most people had in the 80s when they were a bit injured. So after they lift off from the roof, several warheads hit, and the nuclear electromagnetic pulse from the detonations causes the helicopter to crash into the La Brea pits. You put that sentence in there on purpose, didn't you? which again was obviously where the budget went in that shot, because they just shook the camera.
Yeah, the helicopter's
They didn't even
perfectly
move.
still, wasn't it?
The camera shook.
Yeah, yeah.
But it worked. As the helicopter sinks and the cabin fills with natural asphalt tar, Harry tries to comfort her hysterical Julie by saying someday their fossils will be found and they'll probably be put in a museum, or maybe they will take a direct hit and be turned into diamonds. And sort of says about Superman.
Yeah,
he's doing his perfect Ross Geller impression.
Yeah. Julie, accepting her fate, calms down and takes comfort in Harry's words, and the movie fades out as the tar fills the compartment and their lungs. A final explosion seems to imply a direct hit has taken place.
The end.
Yeah.
Fade to black.
Yeah. Even I did like the bit where he says Superman puts a lump of coal in his hand and crushes it and it turns into a diamond. Oh, that's a nice touch, because that's...
Not what's going to happen to you.
No.
Yeah, just to get melted.
Well, it's just one of the only things I remember from the Superman films, to be fair. So then, what are our thoughts? As I said, none of us had seen this before.
Think there's an intrigue. The fact that like last year they finally got together as a it gives it an intrigue of maybe like, you know, they weren't in the right place when this happened, or they knew each other, or whatever. Because it does play into it, but she has nothing to do in this film, though.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what kills the whole thing. The bit of the romance, the thing, you can see there is something there, but there's a chemistry between them, which obviously we know about now. But in as far as, like you say, script, plot, like we said, I was just like, someone just shoot her and then he could have got away. And like, oh, I'm on a truck, I'm escaping, everything's going to be all right. It's all in front of me. I've got the woman with the big phone and the police chief from Robocop who's got a gun. I'm going to be fine. Oh, but I bet go this afternoon.
This whole film reminded me of back at middle school, where we had to come up with an idea for a film that we'd get some uni students to film for us. And it actually feels like you get a load of kids coming in, you know, of age and with some great ideas. One of them's got this cool idea to start with the film, and then you got like the loud friends go, yeah, and then we're going to have some explosions, and then we're going to, and then you've got like the serious girl that says, well, no, actually, you know, there needs to be someone organising things, so, you know, and deeply meaningful, so, you know, we need to save the best minds of the world, so we need to include that. And then you got someone going, yeah, but we need some more explosions too. Yeah, it feels like it's a mashup from lots of different writers, and I know it's probably not. You know, it's one person doing the screenplay or whatever. But there's just so many tangents and twists and turns, and actually, there's a good idea to start with, and it goes full circle. And I appreciate that. You know, it starts off in the tar pit, and he's saying, you know, they dig up these mammoths or whatever, fully preserved, and it ends like that. It's like, oh, generation, cool. That's not a nice message, but I get it, and you know their love is going to last forever type thing. But yeah, there's just loads of random stuff that just takes away from it being a good film in its entirety.
Yeah.
I did actually enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's a mismatch of randomly thrown in.
This is
bits.
the sort of thing that a Netflix or an Apple TV or something need to buy this now and just make it like a 8-episode miniseries. That's it.
Nah,
just pan it out, and then you have
this
the
is
tragic
an hour and
end.
a half. They've literally got 70 minutes.
No, but you could follow a lot more. That you could flesh out some of the other characters.
Yeah,
more.
no,
You
but
could
Walking
see.
Dead. No,
No, but I'm saying no. But it is like just like about 8 episodes, and at the end, Puv is done, and that's it.
I can't see how that would work.
Well, it's just a tragic ending, and then ending,
Yeah, but
and then everyone's upset.
what have you got? So you got 8 episodes of an hour long. I think one of the good things about this film is that, whilst it's not necessarily shot, it's not played in real time. You are literally only seeing an hour and a half of action.
That might even be my concept for the series, where each episode
10 minutes long.
No, each episode you're following one of those people for the same amount of time.
For that amount of time.
I get what you're saying.
that would work.
You know what I mean? Something like that, and then So, but when you see the last one, it's
they've either all come together
it
or
all
it's
makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you find out what or something like that, and then it's still not a happy ending. That's the point.
Yeah.
You know, like trying to make. But no, I thought it was good. It was just sort of, it was a really good episode of the Twilight Zone, or Outer Limits, etc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of those sorts of things.
Well, again, it's funny you should say that. According to Wikipedia, anyway, this was going to be. So at one point, it nearly became the script for the separately made Twilight Zone, the movie. So before it was turned into the film that it is.
Oh, good job it wasn't then, because imagine half of them getting wiped out. That would have been Hollywood lost.
No, it was only that one. It was only John Landis's one that went wrong, wasn't it?
Yeah, true. But it did have a helicopter in it.
That's true. Yeah, it's a good point. But yeah, so it could have been part of the Twilight Zone. So it's funny you say that.
But yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was... Would I say it's one of the most underrated films of the 80s? As the TikTok video that turned me onto it said, I'd say no. But...
I don't know, actually.
It is an underrated film because we'd never heard of it. And it isn't actually that bad.
And I would say it was pretty fresh still. I mean, obviously, you know, the mobile phones, nuclear holocaust, that is a bit 80s-tastic. But it wasn't often that the villain went over. You know, normally they would have escaped and been on, you know, Brad Pitt's not dying in a nuclear explosion at the end. He's getting on his boat and going to his island, you know. And it was a fresher take on some of that stuff. I'm just trying to think what other ones you'd have had at the time. You'd have had, like, what's it called? Wolverine's Mount, what's it called? Still Dawn in a way now, when it was like, a lot of it was more Red Dawn, when the post-apocalyptic sort of stuff. Whereas this
I think it.
Were there many When the Wind Blows, maybe?
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Mad Max.
Well, you've got War Games, for example. That's a similar kind of premise,
but done really well.
Yeah, I think this was done really well. I think, you know, because of the time frame that it does, it literally is. You know, like I said, it's not shot in real time, as in, you know, not like an episode of 24 or something. But you are only seeing that little snapshot of 70 odd minutes, and it does conjure up that what would you do?
I'm just.
I couldn't get bloody Midjaw out of my head for most of the time I was watching it. The Ultravox song, what's it called?
Vienna.
No, I've already forgotten. I've been singing it all afternoon.
Dancing with tears in my eyes.
I couldn't get that out of my head for a lot of the time because that's what that song's about, isn't it?
It just kind of felt like we've got the green light to actually make this film now. We better make it, and maybe it was a bit rushed.
I don't know. I guess the thing is, I mean, how could you end it?
Oh no, I don't mind.
You know what I mean?
I don't mind the start. I don't mind the end. But with a couple of good
I think the thing is, and it could, you know, we've all agreed that the way they keep buggering off and leaving each other is annoying. But then, what other plot device can you use to get those different set pieces in there? You need.
She could have just gone with him.
Yeah, but then you're not.
She didn't have to run off in her own bit. She could, if she was with him anyway.
If she's with him at the gym, he doesn't then run off. He doesn't get the pilot to go off.
Yeah, but
on
that
his
could
own.
have just been them going back to the thing.
Yeah,
and then you know, there's ways around that. She just seemed to be. She was very much like you were saying about 24. Kim Bauer.
Never watched it, so I don't know.
But in the first series, Jack Bauer's daughter Kim Bauer is kidnapped, and that's part of the plot, and it because of his position, and it's really good. But because everyone liked her as an actress, Eliza Cuthbert, and she was hot, and everyone was like, "Oh, let's go." They needed reasons for her to be in the next series. So by season 2 and 3, she's like wandering around and just getting kidnapped, or walking into a terrorist cell by accident on a night out, or you know, like. And it was like, "Oh, Jack, we've got your daughter again." It's like, just lock her at home. Everything could have been fine if your daughter's. Oh, I'm not in my ears.
I liked a lot of what the film was doing.
Yeah. I can't hear anything at the moment.
Okay, but that doesn't mean we can't carry on talking.
No, just saying. Oh, there we go. I'm back. No, I wasn't sure if it cut out or so. No, and it was just like that. Read. She just became like the plot device of for whatever reason, and that's what I felt like this woman was.
I liked how quickly civilization literally collapsed.
Crumbles within
in 30 seconds.
I thought there'd be more looting.
Hey, free TVs!
Yeah, I thought once they went through that window, I was waiting to see all the people
Well,
running in.
don't forget, TVs were bigger in those days.
And also,
And
so with
it's
cast
police
bills.
academy, isn't it? When they're doing the riot, just someone comes. He's got like the biggest CRTV on his head, and he just runs through the streets going, "Hey, free TVs!" We'll have to do that one day. Spotlight on Police Academy.
I just want to run to a restaurant and say I was just on the phone for a nuclear thing. And,
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, there was a lot of. Oh, that was the other one. The other guy in the diner was the doctor from all the Terminator films.
Right.
The drunk guy. No, he's the one that doesn't believe her, and then when he
Oh, yeah,
finally sees
you're
him
right.
walk
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the bar.
Yes,
Yeah, there
yes.
was loads of Terminator. That was the other.
Yeah.
I knew I said there was one more I couldn't remember.
He is. You're right. He's literally got about 30-second screen time.
I'm glad I watched it. I must admit. I didn't come away from that thinking, oh, that's a waste of an hour and a half. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Rating then?
I'm going to give it 6.8.
6.8. We're doing point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not quite 7, but it deserves more than 6.5 in my eyes.
And apparently, so this is a quick thing. The guy that when he looks up through the sewer grate, and you see the guy get shot and go face down onto the grate. That was Stephen Jarnatt, the director.
The director himself. Okay. Cool.
That was his Hitchcock moment.
Yeah.
I would probably go. Oh, I'm torn. Because I really like the concept. I just didn't like what's her face that much.
Really?
Yeah.
It does surprise me. I would never have known from the previous hour's conversation.
But I don't know if that's Mara Wingham, because she's been good in other stuff. I mean, she was the Hooch in Turner and Hooch, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's the
Hoochie in Turner and Hooch, sorry.
The director's given her nothing to do.
Oh yeah, no.
So you can't blame her.
The script has it, yeah, but
Well,
you know, but I just felt I didn't like her. It was like, oh, they're back together, and like, give them some time to talk. No, I went to go and have pancakes with them. Like, they haven't talked for 15 years. Give them some space, love. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not about you. It's not about you, Julie. And,
Okay.
But she's been good in other things. I can't think of any of it now.
Out of 10.
American Horror Story she was in, right? Yeah. It's got to be a 7. It's got to be in the upper echelons because it was a good idea that could be done really well, but would have to be set in the 80s.
Fair enough.
And Damien.
I'm also going for 7. I actually genuinely really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the performance from
Anthony Edwards.
I keep wanting to say Anthony Michael Hall. That's why I keep hesitating. I enjoyed his performance in it. An interesting character. I think some of the other characters that from the diner could have had more to do with. I would have liked to have seen them again.
Yeah, we need the
later on in the
spin-off
film.
where the chef's just on.
Yeah. He's made it, and
right,
he's now in charge of the diner in some nuclear bunker. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But just seeing some more of them would have been cool. And the as I've mentioned numerous times, the annoying bit where they keep splitting up just really started to grate on me and got on my tits. So that takes it down from an 8 because I enjoyed it that much. Just takes it down to a 7.
Cool.
Oh, the Nam was in Evil Dead 2. I knew I recognised it. I just let to look then.
Good to know. So that was our spotlight on Miracle Mile. Thanks, Paul. Managed to forget in the space of 30 seconds. Next week is our Christmas party.
Whoa!
It's our Christmas episode. You've waited all year to hear it again.
Uber.
I bet you can't wait. So that means we're not doing a spotlight on any particular film. We don't know what we're doing yet. We're just going to sit in here, have our Christmas party, put our Christmas jumpers on.
I am.
Cool.
I've been looking forward to this for weeks.
Get some Christmas tunes. I might even. I could go and get a tree. A Christmas tree, yeah. Put it over there.
Yeah, now you're into this,
yeah,
aren't you?
Yeah. Let's do that. So next week is our Christmas special.
Yeah.
Be sure to tune in for that one.
It's Christmas.
Why didn't you go and give last year's show a listen to?
I think I might book the next day off work.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
After last year's debacle.
Yeah.
That was New Year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
New Year, you disappeared after the episode.
I was just deep in thought.
Yeah. So,
Oh, those are the days.
Look out for our competition to win tickets.
come sit in the audience. Okay, so there's not a lot left to say. As usual, don't forget to rate and review us on your preferred podcast app. Our preferred podcast app is Apple, so if you're listening on Apple, please just even just a thumbs up.
Unless one of the
is.
other ones want to sponsor us or pay us.
Pay us, yeah. But either way, just Apple one is the one that seems to get the traction. So
Others are available.
yeah, other podcast applications are available.
And share us. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, share us, all the usual stuff. You can find us on TikTok, Twitter,
Instagram.
Facebook,
Local
Facebook.
phone booths.
Yeah, we might phone random phone booths just to say there's a nuclear war breaking out.
The gents' toilets. Wherever.
No.
For all things Cult Faction,
Written on the wall, not hanging around.
go to the mothership, which is
cultfaction.com.
And if you disagree with anything we've said tonight, or agree, in fact,
Or just want to
contact us, you can do so at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
I've been your host, Damien Hicks. I've been joined by
Paul Hawkins. Ho, ho, ho.
And Brett Summers.
Better watch ya. You better not.
There's a pout, I'm telling you why. I'm trying to stop recording with the wrong mouse.
Just leave it running till next week. We are young.
Heartache to heartache.
We're strong.
Dum, dum, dum,
No one can tell us we're wrong.
dum, dum, dum.
How did I not know that? It dictates it and puts it into Notepad. All this time I didn't know. All that time I've been writing my shopping list when I could have just been speaking. I could have written my book.
You may have done if you checked for all the recorded notes.